Hello everyone and welcome back to week 7 of 13 Frights Before Halloween. Can you believe week 7? It's crazy how the time is flying and the Halloween projects are flying out from 11 crafty witches, and I hope you are joining in by using the hashtag and visiting everyone's website, and I'll have that link down below. Remember, we come back every Monday until October 24th. Now let's get crafting. So here is my Halloween project for this week. I created a witch book and I am loving this project. Now, this is not my original idea. I did see an image of this on Pinterest and I thought, I need to make this. And that's exactly what I did. I planned everything out. I took a trip to the Dollar Tree and voila, we have our book witch. I had picked up this book from a book sale and read it, and I thought what better way to continue to appreciate it than to create something from it. So let me just tell you a little bit about my book witch. I'll start here at the top. Now, this witch hat is from the Dollar Tree. It came from one of their witch hat picks. I just took the stem out of it and added that here. Because it was a little small, I did add some of this black ribbon that has some metallic silver going through it, and I absolutely love that, to make it a little bit wider. On the top, I added a little bow bunny little gem here, a flower gem, and I think that's just so cute on there. I did use some diamond wrap around the brim of the hat here, and that is from the Dollar Tree as well. Next, for her beautiful hair, I used some chenille, I think that's how you say this, yarn, and I picked this up from the Dollar Tree as well. I'm telling you, if you make one trip to the Dollar Tree, you can get all the supplies you need to make this project, even the book. For the hair, I created like a tassel, and after I cut it and layered it on to the ornament, which is her face or head, if you will. This ornament also came from the Dollar Tree. It was a Halloween ornament. So once you cut the yarn and add it to the top of the ornament, it kind of ends up giving you different layers, and I just love that. It makes it look more natural. For around her neck, I added some purple elastic ribbon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I then stacked on this rosette. It's a 1/2 inch tall. I added some extra fine black glitter to the edges of it that I picked up from Walmart. And the paper that I used is 31 by Prima. And I really didn't plan it, but that pink went perfect with this whole project. Underneath the rosette, I added this diamond wrap, which I got from the Dollar Tree, and as I mentioned, I added it up here on the hat as well. And it kind of made it look like she had a baby doll dress, you know, how like that's the band under the top part. And I just loved that. So for the book, I folded 141 pages to get it to be this dense. Depending on the book that you select, that will help determine the height and the width, as well as how dense you make it. You can do less pages if you like a less dense book, but I didn't. I wanted to have lots of pages showing, and I just love how that turned out. To get the book this color, I used some Dilutions crushed grape ink spray from Ranger, and I sprayed it a little heavier on the bottom and a little lighter on the top. You almost have a little bit of an ombre going there. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it does look like a lighter color up here at the top. Once everything was done, I then sprayed it with some Tattered Angels mica gold, and I love how that turned out. I hope you can see all of the shimmer that's added to the book pages. I did it all the way around, so the front and the back, and even on the broom where you can really see it there. I like that it kind of grunged up the broom. It really just needed that little extra bit. But I hope you can see it there on the pages. Super pretty. Now her arms are made out of the book pages, And then I used some tulle to wrap around like a shawl or cape. And I even added some more of that AliExpress ribbon here over the top of each side. Now in one of her arms, she is holding this little skull charm that I created. These little skull beads came from AliExpress. I just wound them on some yarn and then made a loop so that she could hold that in her hands. For the broom here, this is also a Dollar Tree broom. I cut off about 1 inch off the top and then about 2.5 inches off the bottom where the bristles are. This was also sprayed with the mica spray. Added the purple trim around the top of the broom. I took off the ribbon that was already there, added some more of the diamond wrap there, and she is holding that in this hand. Super cute. It turned out to be the perfect size for this book witch. And down around the bottom, I added some ribbon that I picked up from Hobby Lobby by the Paper Studio. This was a clearance ribbon, and I don't think that they have that anymore. But I absolutely love how this turned out with the diamonds going along the center. It just kind of went with the diamond wrap that I used throughout the project. So that is my book witch. I so love this project. It was really quite a lot of fun to make. After you get the book pages folded, it was all fun from there. It took a little time to fold the pages because it does get to your hands after a while, but it's really worth it in the end because this is so beautiful. Just loving it. Now I do have a tutorial on how I created this project following this portion of the video. I hope that you stay around to create one with me. And if you can't stay, thank you for joining me. I hope you like this project. Please comment below. I would love to hear what you think. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. All right, now let's get started with the tutorial. Before we get started on the tutorial, I just wanted to mention that because this was a 3D project, I did try to use an additional camera in some places to film what I was doing so that you could actually see everything front on as well as top down. So I hope that works out, and please forgive me if it doesn't. All right, everyone, let's get started. To create the body of the witch book, you're going to need a book, and I'm using one that I've got from a book sale and I've read. And what you're going to want to do is take off the cover. So I'm just going to tear that off. You may even want to take off the first couple of pages. It's purely up to you. Starting clean with chapter 1. Next, we want to fold our pages. So you're going to take the top of the page on the right hand side. You're going to fold this down over to the left. Now, some people go all the way, but as we all know, if you put a bunch in the spine, it causes problems. So I'm going to come out maybe about 1/8 of an inch. I've seen people even do 1/4 of an inch, but I'm just going to do that, 1/8 of an inch or so. See? The next thing we're going to do is take the rest of the page. We're going to fold this over, kind of making a little point at the top here. And again, make sure to leave about 1/8 of an inch or so, or even less. Just don't go all the way to the spine. And then fold that down. Now I want to make my witch that has a flat bottom. So I'm folding my pages a little bit different than you may have seen others do. So when we get down here to the bottom and we have this little piece sticking over, what we want to do is just take our fingers and run that along the edge. We then take this piece that we've just creased and we tuck it up underneath the page. and fold this back down. So that's our first page. This will give us a flat bottom. Now let's go on to our next page, and you really just repeat the same process until you get as many pages as you want. And when I say that, it depends on how thick or full you want the witch's skirt or body to be. Now, I did watch another crafter online, and they said about 190 pages worked really well, but I think that is a preference. Okay, so this is really all you're going to do for preparation of our witch book. Just fold down the first part, fold over the second. You see how I'm kind of making that a little pointy at the top. And I'm folding that down. Creasing the last piece and tucking that under. So there's what it looks like with 3. It's going to get a little bunchy. So just keep repeating the process. So there we have an image. You could even use these to make Christmas trees. Lots of fun. And you can see I'm pushing down on the spine here as I go along. Okay, so I have been off screen folding, and of course I took some breaks in between. All the folding and holding of the papers does get to your hand, so this is not something you can do unless you have really great hand dexterity in one day, but I could not. So I took breaks in between because it was just too much. But as you can see, I've been folding quite a bit. At the end of this chapter, I will have 147 pages. And I might round that up to 150. And then I'm going to call it quits. It's getting super difficult to fold the pages and hold it because there's so much that I have to hold. So you can make this really as full as you want. I want a very full body, so that's why I'm doing a lot of pages, but you could certainly do as many that you prefer. Some might want to see more of the book pages, so you would do less pages. But if you want to have a fuller look, then you would do more pages. Okay, so that's 147. Let's just round this puppy up to 150. And you definitely get faster as you go along. Okay. 150. So as you can see here, as I created all the pages, the spine curved around and it almost comes to a complete circle. We will be cutting off this portion of the book, and then we're going to put some hot glue down the spine to kind of bring that circle to closure. Now for this portion, you're going to need a blade knife, and we're going to cut the book off. Ooh, this makes me nervous. See how I've cut down in there? So that's what you want. Too bad we didn't have another person that could just pull that open. Okay, I'm glad I did extra pages. Okay, as you just saw, I cut away the book. I even tore away 9 of the pages from the back side. I didn't need those. And I even ended up refolding about 8 or so pages here because they were a little bit too long. As you go through folding the pages, this gets so bunchy you don't realize that it's encroaching on the spine part. And I was folding them further out rather than in close to the spine. So I needed to refold some of those. I just wanted to let you know in case you run into that same problem, just refold them, it'll be fine. Now normally what you can do is take your hot glue gun and add a bead of glue right down here along the spine. I'm not even sure if that's necessary because it comes together so good, as you can see here. I mean, you can't really tell where the break is, right? It's right here. But I mean, we could do it just for prosperity's sake. So you would open this up and get in here, run a bead of hot glue along the spine there, and then just push these pieces together, hold it there for a moment. Like I said, I don't even think I needed it, but there we are. So now it looks the same as it did before. I just can't kind of dig in as far as I was, if that makes sense. So once you have your spine hot glued, the next step would be to spray paint it. If you want to color it, you could do a black if you're doing for Halloween or whatever color you want. Or you could even use acrylic paint and paint it. If you do that, you may want to hold several of the pages together and then paint down the front. I think that would be easier. You wouldn't be fighting with the pages, you know, breaking down if you held a good bunch together and then just painted straight down. Now I didn't really want to paint it, and of course I wanted to spray paint, but went to the store and picked up everything but the spray paint. So what I thought I would do instead is try using my Dilutions ink sprays. I have a crushed grape, slate gray, and chopped pesto. Oh, that's a green. I thought that was black. I'll have to look for my black. So I thought I would try maybe a little bit of an ombre thing. I don't know. This is what I'm thinking. Like a black, go into the gray and into the purple, maybe, or just black and purple. I haven't really figured it out yet. One of the great things about using this type of spray is that it's going to be a little translucent, so you'll still be able to see the text, which is what I want. Because I love books anyways. I hate to just make them so dark you can't even tell what it is. I want you to be able to see that it is a book. So that's where I'm going with my thought process. I'll have to even see how this works out. I haven't even tested it. Maybe we can test it together and then I can do the spraying without talking so I can just concentrate on what I'm doing. So what you're seeing here is my self-made splat box. While I appreciated Tim Holtz's splat box, I knew I'm a bit messy and I didn't think that small area would work for me. So I created one out of a big box, probably from Amazon. So here is one of the book pages, and I just wanted to test out these sprays. Now I did find this Distress Oxide Black Soot Spray. It looks gray to me. I don't know. We'll have to give it a go and just test it out to see what we like. Ooh. I wondered if I needed to water this down at all, like in a different bottle. Because I'm just not sure how this is going to work. So let's try the gray. This is Dilutions. Ooh, that sprays a little better. And then here is the Crushed Grape. Ooh, that's a hot mess. There we go. Oh, look how pretty that is. Oh, look, of course. I should have put gloves on. I think I might just do it in purple. Look how pretty that is compared to these. Like, I kind of like the ombre effect. You can't really tell though. Oh, I think I'm going to do the purple. Okay. So I think I'm going to get gloves on because this is going to be really messy because I'm going to have to hold it and everything. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm just going to give it a go. I don't really care if I use the whole bottle. I've had this forever. Oh my gosh. I'm loving it already. I hope you'll be able to see. Okay, I'm going to let this sit and dry for a little bit, and now we can work on some of the items to go on top of it. It's really quite wet. That worked out super well. Loving this color. As you notice, I tried to do it a little darker down at the bottom and lighter up at the top. You almost get like this purpley pink look. Very pretty. I hope you'll be able to tell that. Kind of hard to show a 3D project. Okay, now while that's drying, I thought we would talk about some of the items that we're going to use to actually kind of create the witch book. And one of the things that I thought about was the head. So you're going to need at least a ping pong ball sized head. Anything smaller would probably be too small. When I was at the Dollar Tree, I found these ornaments and I thought these would be a perfect size. And in fact, it is. So if you also have ornaments, you could use those as well. So I selected this white ornament. And I know it has an eyeball on the backside, but I really don't care. I'm going to use it for the white glittery side. I thought about using the black glitter one, but with everything else being dark colors, I wanted something that would be light. So I selected this one. And on the ends of the bulbs, it has like this little loop, and I cut this loop off using my Tim Holtz scissors. So that's what it looks like now. So before, after. Okay, so just cut that little loop off. The next thing I wanted to have was a witch's hat, of course. And also at the Dollar Tree, I found this bag of witch hat picks. There are 3 in the bag. They used to have these individually or in a pack of 3, but they were longer, and now they're shorter picks. And I selected the purple one, and all I did was basically just pull out the pick stick. But I'm going to save that because it's a good stick and we might need that later. So I selected the purple one. It looked the best. And then I noticed that the hat itself probably wasn't wide enough for the ornament. So I had some trim that I got from AliExpress, this really pretty kind of elastic trim, but it had this nice silver going through it, and I thought that would be perfect for this. So what I did was hot glue it around the hat, as you can see here on the underside and then on the outside. And I love how that turned out. So when you hold it up to your ornament, look at that. Looks good already. Now, another thing I wanted to do is, because you could see some of the glue from when, it was created, I grabbed this adhesive diamond wrap from Floral Garden at the Dollar Tree. This is a great Dollar Tree project. You could even get your book there for $1.25. Come on. So I'm just going to add this adhesive right around the bottom there. And I don't think I'm going to need to add any hot glue because already has adhesive on the back side. But we'll see. I'm not even sure where the back of my hat is. I'm thinking this might be the front. I like the way it kind of dips down. I don't know, it's kind of cute. So we'll just start back here. Just taking it right around the bottom of the hat. Okay, so there's our hat. I think that looks super cute. So just remember, if the felt isn't long enough for whatever shape that you're using, make it longer by adding some ruffle, or you could even create a new felt piece and add that, remove the current felt piece and add your own. I was going to do that in the beginning, remove that and add my own piece, but I like the flexibility of this felt, and so I just kept it and added the little ruffle here to make it a little bit bigger. Now, the next thing I thought about was kind of the neck of the witch, right? So there are two things that I'm going to do. One, I wanted separation from the base of the book to the head. Most times you see the book and the head, and they're just flat right on top of each other. There's no neck, no nothing. And I wanted to have a little bit of a separation to actually give you the feel of a body shape, right? So I created this little rosette. It measures about 2 1/8 inches wide, and it is a 1/2 inch high. So my little score marks were every 1/2 inch. The end size of the paper was a little over 1 inch, so maybe 1 1/16. But I started out bigger because I used this punch to go along the edges and make some decorative punches. And I really like that. So what's going to happen is we're going to adhere our head onto our ruffle like this. Then I'm going to be using some of this decorative trim from Hobby Lobby. It's purple, it's like an elastic, and I love it. Here's what it looks like. And we're going to take that and kind of wrap it around on the inside. Something like that. It'll look better when I'm able to actually do it right. And I just love this whole look. So like, just give you a quick look, like something like this. So I think we can go ahead and glue these together, because then what we'll do is take the rosette, we will add hot glue here and add it to the top of our book, and then our witch is created. So one of the things you want to do is make sure you figure out which side of the rosette you want to be facing out. Kind of like that one right there. And then we'll add our hot glue here. So I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll be back. Okay, this is nice and dried. Almost looks like one of our stacked rosettes. If you've seen my video on that, I'll have it linked down below if I remember. But that's even cute right there. Looks like a monster. But I forgot to mention that what I did on the rosette was I added art glitter glue around the edge of the rosette. And then I poured this black extra fine glitter on it. And I picked this up from Walmart. This is awesome. I love it. I hope you can see how fine that is, but the color is really pretty. So I'm happy with everything I've been using so far. Now that this is dry, I thought I would try to go ahead and add this on. Okay, so for your reference, it's like 1 7/8. Now we're going to create the arms for our witch, and you're going to take one of the book pages that you haven't done anything with. We're going to fold this over at a diagonal. So at the point to the point, and we're just going to fold. It doesn't have to be perfect here. Then what we're going to do is fold this over maybe about 1/4 of an inch. See? And then fold over one more time. Now you can use stick glue, or I'm just going to use our glitter glue and then glue this down. So I only folded it over twice. Then we're going to cut off the excess. So I'm just cutting right up against the fold. Just make sure it's all glued together there. Depending on the size of your book body, you may need to do 2 of these. I'm going to do 2 and overlap them at some point just so that it's wide enough to go around. These are going to be the arms. And one of the things that I want to do is add some fabric. And I'm using this tool that is 6 inches wide and 11.5 inches long. I'm going to fold it in half, and the arms are going to go on the inside. So this is where I might need to overlap the arms. And then just glue them there. This goes down, and then it will get wrapped around the body of our book, like this. So in addition to that, I'm also going to use one of Tim Holtz's brooms, and the witch will be holding, a broom. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty good. Okay, so once I determine where I want the 2 to overlap, I'm going to go ahead and glue those down. All I did was just take this, wrap this around to where you think it's the right length. And when I say that, I'm speaking about the pieces that are hanging out in the front. Now, as you see here, I kind of took the broom, put it on the end, and kind of spun it around. So now there's like this little hand that will be holding the broom. That's going to be cute. Just wrapping it around at the bottom, kind of at an angle, and then twirling it. glue the rest of this. What's good about this is if it's too long, you can just cut it off. It's not going to matter. It's just a book page. And then kind of round that to get it prepared to go around the back of the book. So what I'm going to do is hot glue this. I was going to sew it, but I really don't want to. So I'm just going to add hot glue down the center of this piece where the elastic is. And then glue that on to the end. Kind of like this little cape type thing. I'm only going to do it on one side because remember, we're folding that over and the arm's going to come through it. Now we take our hands and we put those in here. Oh yeah, I was going to set up another camera. Okay, so put your hands into your little piece here. Okay, so I have set up another camera. I'm hoping that it will be able to capture what we're about to do because you won't be able to see very well everything since this is a 3D project. So I've added my hands or arms to my tool, and now we're ready to adhere it to the book. So you want to make sure you have the front of the book that you like. You're going to wrap this around kind of close to the top of the book. You know, about right where your shoulders would be. Some goes up higher, but oh yeah, actually, yeah, I like them up higher better. So if I can give you an idea, it's hard to do that because then it slips. And then I'm going to wrap this around closer to the top. And I'm going to add my hot glue on my arms and onto that tool. And hopefully this works. So I'm just going to push that on to the back of the book. You will be able to modify your arms. Yeah. Then I'm going to add some to the sides just to get them close to the book. So here's what it looks like with the arms and sleeves on. I think that looks good. Now that we have the arms and like cape on, I thought about adding some ribbon down near the bottom of the book. I think this is really going to tie it together. We have some bling on here, and it is just going to really match the hat as well as now the arms. What I've done is added 1/4 of an inch adhesive tape, score tape to the back. Rather than doing hot glue, I thought this might be easier, so we can only hope. And then that way too, if I don't put it on too hard, I might be able to change it out later if I wanted. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. I really love the ruffle down at the bottom. So cute. So I was going to use Tim Holtz broomsticks for my wedge, but when you think about scale, I think these are going to be a little bit too small. My book stands about 8 1/4 inches tall. So I remembered that I had these brooms from the Dollar Tree. And I think if I just cut some of the top off and the bottom, that might be a better scale for this project. So I'm going to just pick a spot and go for it. Maybe just a little bit more. I don't know, maybe a little off the top here. There we go. Okay, I think I'm going to take this off. It's really just going all over the place. Oh, it's just a twist on. So I cut off about a 2 1/4 inch piece. I'm just going to hot glue that on here. Now I want to create the hair, and I'm going to use this tassel loom from Your Memory Keepers. I've never used it before, so I thought I would give it a try. And I'm going to use the 6-inch height, and I'm using some chenille yarn, which I also picked up from the Dollar Tree. My hair is ready to be attached. I wish I wouldn't have lost the center where I tied it off, but I did. So keep that in mind when you do yours. I don't know whether to put this on now and then put the head on, or put the head on and then the hair, because it's hard for me to gauge how it looks if I can't really see it on the body. So I think what I'm going to do is finally glue this on. What I've done is kind of dry fit the hair. Now I'm going to just add hot glue and just brush it out with your fingers. I love all the different lengths. To be shedding a little bit. Okay, I think I'm gonna put it on at a tilt. So I'm just gonna add hot glue to the hat. And here goes nothing. You know, you only get one chance. Oh my God. Gosh, I didn't even see which way I had the hat to know if that's the way I wanted it. Okay. Put a little dot on the end of the broom and added bling. I did add a little bit of hot glue to add the broom to the book just for stabilization, and just tidied up her little hands here, added the charm later, and that's it. That's how you create your witch book. I hope you try making one of these, and if you do, please tag me. I would love to see it. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time.